All right, so welcome to week 6. So in 6 here, we're gonna start doing what they really want to pay you for, which is forecasting and trend analysis and predictions. So what you probably noticed up until now is that after a few weeks of digging into all this data and learning all the syntax and the codes and manipulating it, you might be at a point where you're looking at it going, "Why are we doing this? This is all fun and interesting, but how does it help a business?" It's good to be able to understand your data and be able to understand what's going on, but you're looking in the rearview window or in the rearview mirror of everything that we've done so far. What we're going to talk about today is how to take the data that we have. What we're going to talk about this week is how to take the data we have and utilize it to make predictions. So going forward, what does this mean for us? And this is where it gets valuable for businesses, and this is what really drives data analytics these days and what the value proposition is behind it. So if we have all this data and we understand what's happened in the past, we ought to be able to make some pretty decent predictions about what's going to happen in the future. Obviously very important for any kind of business if they're looking at inventory levels. If they want to know how many supplies to buy over a certain period of time, given demographic changes, giving sales changes, giving trends in weather patterns and such. What do they need to have in stock? What do they need to have purchased? Those are the kinds of things that businesses really need to understand. And right now, without the data, you kind of make some intuitive guesses and judgment calls and things like that. But in an environment like we are today, in a globalized environment where every business is really in a dogfight for the next sale with some global competitor, every advantage that information can give you counts. And so everything we've learned up until now that helps us to really explore, get intimate with the data, and understand what is going on with our business gives us leverage then if we can take that and translate it into some understanding of what's going to happen in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year from now. If I have to be making ordering decisions in terms of the amount of fuel for my fleet, I want to know what they're going to need to burn. I don't want to buy too much because that hurts my margin and revenue. I don't want to buy too little because that hurts my ability to produce and meet the customer need. I want to get right on. And so the things that we're going to talk about this week, modeling in terms of actually building a model of how your environment acts, forecasting, building trends, and even clustering, which helps us to understand a lot about our customer base and kind of where they're acting and what's growing and what's not. These are valuable techniques, mathematical techniques that are built on top of the data and the ability to manipulate the data that we've learned over the last few weeks. Okay, so we're going to break it up a little bit differently this week where we've kind of done similar things in R and then a similar kind of thing over in Tableau. We'll do a little bit different this week where we're going to focus really on modeling in R and then do a lot of the forecasting pieces in Tableau. You can do that in R. It takes a longer time to kind of get used to it, but definitely you can go down that path. But what I want to do with the modeling is get you at the ground floor, sort of word by word, code by code, bit by bit level, understanding how do we actually generate models? What does a model mean in terms of data sets? And then we'll go to Tableau because Tableau can just point and click on a lot of that stuff. So once you understand how to do it, that's good enough. Then let's go to the tool that really allows you to sort of rapidly put build these trends, rapidly look at forecasting and those kinds of things. So again, there'll be some modeling work that we do in the R data science book, some exercises I want you to do there. There will be some exercises in Tableau as well to really start to flesh out how to do forecasting and trends and things like that. And then a discussion question. And the discussion really is an interesting topic this week. It's about actually taking and deciding what evidence you need based on the results that you have. It's a sort of an interesting look at how sometimes people do things incorrectly, but sometimes understanding your data, it's a good way to get some valuable understanding of your data. So anyway, it's an interesting article. Why don't you take a look at it and kind of just have a conversation around it. No right answers on this, but just going to get your thoughts on it. So that's the discussion and those two assignments, and we'll go ahead and get started.